Welcome to Always Moving Forward with Renee.
Moving forward.
Good morning and welcome to Always Moving Forward with Renee and friend. My friend is on the other end there, Lenore T. You wave, Lenore? Okay, so you know who she is. As always, we're glad you invited us into your homes. I trust you had a great week. Now, I know you didn't miss part 1 or part 2 of this awesome topic. I don't even want to say awesome, but this topic that you need to know about, voting. And we have 2 people here with us today. My good buddy for years and years and years. But I'm not going to say your name. I'm going to let the lady on the end introduce you.
Good morning. Today we have Ebony with us. Ebony is, first of all, she's my niece. And Ebony works, our show today is centered around voting. Ebony is very active in the voting. She's out with the people trying to get them to register, and she's very active with that. Ebony?
Thank you. Nice to be here with you guys again. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, we're glad you're with us.
Yes.
Because you remember Ebony from back in, what was that, August you were with us? July
Right
or
before the
August?
primary, yes.
Right, and then she did part 1 and part 2.
Yes.
But we also have another special person, and I'm going to let Ebony introduce him.
Well, my very good friend, attorney Isaac Robinson, is with us today. Isaac has been fighting for social justice for over 20 years, got me started in the fight, in the cause, and I'm so happy that I answered that call when he said, hey, I need your help. So he's a great friend of mine. He's been fighting for seniors, fighting to save pensions, on the front line, fighting for the people that matter the most, the community. And so without anything to do, I'll turn the show back over to you.
Okay. Well, I want to welcome both of you, Ebony and Isaac.
Almost like a song.
It sure is. You guys get ready to
It's Ebony and Isaac.
Right, Ebony and Isaac. But you know what? Today is the day that the Lord has made. And what are we going to do? We're going to rejoice in it and be glad. So I want to say happy Sunday to all. Deuteronomy, 1st chapter, 23rd verse states, choose for your tribe wisely, understanding and experienced man, and I will appoint them as your heads. Today, as Lenore said, we're talking about voting. Ebony and Isaac is going to tell us the A's through the Z's. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to turn it over to both of you.
Well, I'll let Isaac tell us a little bit about your background, some of your history, for working in the community, working with labor groups, and some of the fights that you feel passionate about.
Well, thank you, Ebony. Thank you, Renee and Laura. I'm pleased to be here. Here with on the Bell Global Network, owned by the one and only Anton Bell, who I went to high school with at Renaissance. My name, yay! Big shout out to the Bell family, to school with Anton's brother Antonio, also Marietta, a really great family here in the Detroit community. I just thanks to the God and the people in District 4, which is Detroit, part of Detroit and Hamtramck. I'm going to be the state rep in House District 4. I won a highly contested primary, about 13 opponents, and so on November 6th, it looks good that I'm going to get elected state rep. I have a big background working with labor unions. Worked for the Teamsters Union for 10 years. Also had the honor to be a legislative aide for Congressman Conyers. Also worked for the Michigan legislature and the city council, but and also been around my mom, Rosemary Robinson, who's been elected in Detroit 20 times. So have a deep history of involvement with the labor movement. I've been a lawyer for 15 years, learning a lot about how we got to improve the criminal justice system. I've been practicing criminal defense and trying to keep our young people out of jails, out of prison, and on the path towards opportunity. And this election is obviously very important. It's not even about the candidates, it's really about us in Detroit exercising our power again. There's an imbalance in government. A lot of the things I think about are the kind of the amount of money that's spent in politics. Bernie Sanders talks a lot about taking on the banks and the billionaires, but right here in Detroit, a lot of our tax dollars actually comes from our W-2s, and about $700 million is going to some projects that Dan Gilbert's doing. $420 million went to the arena project. And so right now in Hamtramck, some report came out yesterday there where there's problems with the lead in the water. We saw what happened with Flint. So, the role of government should be doing things about making sure we have clean water.
Right.
But, we have a government that gives our water to Nestle Corporation for $200, but we get all these water bills, and then our water may or may not be clean.
That's right.
So, so many reasons that we need to get out the vote. A lot of big issues coming up. Clean water, mass incarceration is probably the biggest tragedy that faces our city. We've lost generations of men. We need to be, it's important that we vote yes on the renewal of the WC 3D millage, which funds our community college. We need to be, anything that we need to be doing to strengthen our public schools. We've had some of our schools shut down, and we've had issues with this with the EEA, all these experimental things, the proliferation of charter schools at the expense of our public schools. So, we really got to get out the vote. It matters. We can't just put our head in the sand and say things are bad. Trump is doing this and Trump is doing that. So we got to fight back and exercise our right to vote, which some people died for that right, fighting for the right for people to vote.
Right. Yeah. I know we talked about that last week, about the importance of voting and how, people died for us to have that right. And like Martin Luther King Jr. said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And what matters? He talked about the water. That matters. He talked about getting out there. You got the right to vote. That matters.
Yes.
But you know what, Isaac? Tell us, what district did you win in the office primary?
Well, the seat that's currently held by my mother, Rosemary Robinson, one of the boundaries is over by the Shrine of the Black Madonna on Linwood, by New Bethel Church, from Linwood all the way to City Airport. I have everything on Woodward from Webb and Highland Park over to Mack. On the east side, we ride Gratiot from Mack all the way to Connor over to 6 Mile. So over where the old Kettering High School was, still is, but it's not open. Everything on I-94 from Grand River, going over by Tabernacle Church in Old St. Leo's, over to Gratiot and 94, where Ross Catering is. A lot of good Detroit business over in Gratiot, Harper Avenue area. I got the North End. I got
That's a big
I got
district.
Woodbridge,
Yes.
Midtown. So yeah, everything from the Woodbridge all the way going towards City Airport. I got the incinerator. So I have so many issues facing this district. I have Hamtramck, which has numerous ethnicities there. A big Polish American population, Bengali American, Yemenis American population. But we're all bounded together by the fight for social justice, the fight for health care, the fight for jobs, regardless of their ethnicity. But you have an administration with Rick Snyder, who just sticking straightly to the issues. It seems like we've undermined democracy through these emergency managers, all this movement towards authorities. There's the Land Bank Authority, Airport Authority, Coastal Authority. What it means is we can't just go talk to our council no more and have a phone call made because there's some secret authority, unelected, making all the decisions, appointed probably by Snyder or some other body, some other political person that's been throwing money around. You have this total disrespect for seniors, taxing senior pensions. just politics 101 is you don't mess with the seniors because they're the ones that vote. The arrogance
Thank you.
that you can just
Yes.
attack senior pensions, attack democracy. In a labor town, I'm endorsed by the United Auto Workers, the AFL-CIO, AFSCME, Teamster, Local 337, and others to push through right to work in a state that was built on the labor movement. Detroit was built. This is where Walter Reuther and Jim Hoffa, the home of these gentlemen, these labor leaders, to just arrogantly push through right to work when you had people opposing it. We voted down emergency management through a statewide initiative, and then it come around, changed the language a little bit, and stuff it down our throats. All that emergency management was really just a way to attack our city workers' pensions.
Okay.
But when the art came up, it was like, oh, we got to say it at a museum. No disrespect to art and culture. My point is though, but when workers and people and Detroiters and seniors, their value isn't represented in our government right now, and so I hope to work with others to bring change, and that's why I'm urging people to vote Democratic. The Democratic Party isn't perfect, but when you look at the record of Rick Snyder versus Jim Blanchard, or Rick Snyder versus Granholm, or if you compare President Obama and Bill Clinton to a George Bush and Trump, it makes sense to me to give Democrats a chance right now, because that other direction is anti-worker, anti-civil rights, anti-people. And it's very important that people know that they have to vote each position one at a time.
Right.
The Republicans messing around, messing with our minds. That's why we got to remember to vote them one at a time. QB has a song, don't let them mess with our mind, vote them one at a time. Don't let them mess with our mind, vote them one at a time.
Yeah.
And Sherry Day-Nagle has a song, take your time, vote them one at a time. And you got to vote the Democrat one at a time. So you can vote for Gretchen Whitmer and Garland for Lieutenant Governor, but then you got to go to Dana Nessel for Attorney General, Jocelyn Benson for Secretary of State. There's a whole bunch of important smaller offices too. Michigan State Trustee, University of Michigan. We have a young woman named Tiffany Tilley, who came out of the Young Democrats running for State Board of Education. But every Democrat, all the way down to where I'm running, State Rep, Isaac Robinson, District 4, then you go down to County Commissioner. So all these have to be voted one at a time. The old days, you can hit that one box, straight Democrat, boom, take care of it all. Now you got to take your time one at a time. Then you got to go to the nonpartisan ballot and do that one at a time. And there's some very important proposals on there. There's proposal 2. A lot of people are pushing a yes vote on that because it'll create a commission that'll help draw the maps. Right now, whatever political party controls the process, they get to gerrymander and draw the maps all crazy. Right now, the Congressional District 14 goes from Pontiac, whips around Southfield, all the way to Grosse Pointe, all the way down to Ecorse border. Whipping around like a snake. So if you vote yes on proposal 2, you're taking a big punch into gerrymandering.
Okay, that's the one for redistricting.
Right. We want to have redistricting more fair, where it'll be drawn in a more sensible way and not drawn to help corporate special interests. And frankly, it's not going to give a favoritism to the Democrats or the Republicans. It'll be drawn in a way that's based on reasonable practices, as opposed to trying to draw it in a way to have political domination by one party. And so we're encouraging a yes vote on 2. We're also encouraging people to support Wayne County Community College. A lot of people in our community got their start by having an affordable higher education, starting off at WC3D. And I met with Dr. Ivory. There's so many new programs coming out. They have an agricultural school that's coming out in Taylor. And they care about all the campuses, the ones that are in the suburbs and in the city. It's about equality, and all our people, no matter where they live, deserve an equal opportunity, no matter their race or color or creed.
That's right.
And when we fund a community college, which was a big thing that President Obama championed, you're on the right track. That's one of our jewels, WC3.
Okay. Now, Isaac, you explained the proposal 2. Would you explain proposal 1 for us, the one that's dealing with marijuana?
So, I've never smoked weed, but I don't know, but I have smelled secondhand weed smoke. And I had a headache, Miss. I was walking out of, I swear, I had this bad headache, and I walked out the shop, and that weed hit me, and my headache went away. So I think, but medicinal marijuana is already legal. And so what this talks about is recreational.
Okay.
And so people should read
What
that.
they just did over in Canada.
Right.
Colorado, yeah, but that
Yeah.
was more of a federal thing, so this
Oh,
would be for
okay.
state, maybe more similar to Colorado. But yes, like Canada, legalizing it.
Uh-huh.
And so, that, I think people have to pray about it or think about it and vote their conscience. I don't want to tell people how to vote on that because I think that's a very personal decision. You know, a lot of people, you know, it's a lot of things that goes into that. When our young people, you know, are trying to get jobs, if marijuana comes up on the test, they can't get a job.
Right.
You know, so with that law change, does that mean that no longer, are people no longer being drug tested? I believe that marijuana should be decriminalized, but not encouraged. You know, this is things I feel. I don't want young people going to prison or jail. And now that the Republican Party is pushing legislation, a lot of people are going to make money. And
Yeah.
people who are opposed to marijuana, I don't want us to not watch the ball to miss also an economic opportunity. You know, again, our Detroiters, young people are going to rot in jail, but we're also not going to have Detroiters making money off of this huge industry. There's going to be transporters. There's going to be people growing this stuff. You know, and at what point, when you have something that's regulated by the state, and we're being shut out of it, and you know, is it going to be a person who donates the biggest money to the governor, or some construction person, or somebody that has an inside track on how things are zoned, or somebody owns a land in a certain area of the city, so that's how it gets zoned, so that they're the ones that can make the money. And so let's not miss the economics of it. But people should read the proposal. You know, I think if you go in that direction, we got to make sure we're not encouraging it. I like the decriminalization of that. We have enough people in jail, you know, and people in prison, you know, and I think that decriminalizing marijuana would take a big stab into mass incarceration efforts, a part of it.
Okay, so you heard that, cousins, right? Now, Lenore, I know you have a couple of questions, right?
I do.
Okay.
Isaac, on November the 6th, what should voters expect going to the polls?
Well, when people go to the polls, you know, try to make sure you have some time, because sometimes there's long lines. And now with straight party ticket being removed, you know, people are going to be flipping their ballot. Make sure you flip your ballot to get to all the parts of it. And but it might take a while, so make sure you make arrangements. And then it might be raining that day, so if you got your hair done like yourself, these beautiful curls, make sure you bring your umbrella. You know, 'cause I've seen people say, oh no, I don't want to mess my hair up. You know, and maybe even bring a snack if the lines are long. Hopefully the lines are long. I remember when President Obama ran, I saw people standing in line for 3-4 hours. People were down in Ohio waiting. You know, we got to take pride in voting. So whatever you do, try to clear your schedule. Now, it's not too late to vote early. So if a person anticipates that they may have to work out of town, there are a number of statutory reasons that you can, you know, give out of town on election day. You know, waiting jail trial. Now, probably not one, but there's different reasons you can give to vote. So you can go down to the city clerk.
Okay.
And I think some of the WC3D campuses have early voting, so contact Janice Winfrey's office and find out where those are. Also, there's a website, MichiganDems.com. That's the Michigan Democratic Party website. I did want to recognize that on the nonpartisan ballot, that's where you vote for judges. And then in Detroit, you're going to be voting for Detroit Charter Commission and Detroit School Board. There's a Reverend David Murray running for school board. There's a whole bunch of people running. There's his name is Reverend on the ballot. Some people may vote for just because he says Reverend.
They think he's a reverend.
But he is a Reverend. And what I like about Reverend Murray is that he was on that board with Lamar Lemons fighting Rick Snyder. And he also has a great understanding of the ADA, American Disabilities Act. Sometimes it's good to have different viewpoints on a board. Right now you have a lot of the corporate people supported by the foundation community or Mayor Duggan. Sometimes it's good to have a balance of people who aren't going to just go along to get along. But I do want to acknowledge Megan Kavanaugh and Samuel Baginstos. Those are the two Democrats running for Michigan Supreme Court. Now on the nonpartisan ballot, it won't say that they're the Democrats. But the Supreme Court is just as important as governor. These are all important, you know, in deciding issues of environmental justice, civil rights, the erosion of our rights in the courts is something that, Trump is appointing people
Absolutely.
who may not be favorable to some of our values and views. So please remember Megan Kavanaugh and Samuel Bagistos for Michigan Supreme Court. I'm part of a group with Ebony called Michigan Democratic Future. We've screened them. We have a big magazine. There's 3 candidates that we endorse for Third Circuit Court: Tracy Green, who is a lifelong Detroiter; John Cahalan. His uncle was Mayor Kavanaugh. He was screened. He's been active with Focus Hope since he was a little boy, John Cahalan. And then Suzette Samuels, who's a graduate of Chadsey High School. She works at the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, and she used to be the president of the Rosedale Park Community Association. So Green, Cahalan, Samuel are 3 choices you may want to consider. There's a couple young women, Joanna Underwood and Nicole Small, who are running for Detroit Charter Commission. Now that group is very important because that's the kind of the framework for, that's the governing document for the city of Detroit. You have an attorney, Richard Mack, running, who goes to the Perfecting Church, and he's worked closely with the ASME Union. I think he's a pretty good guy that would stand up for working families. And then there's 36 district court is on the ballot. There's some of the judges who are incumbents are running. Judge Langston, Judge Sabri, Judge Archer, Judge Coleman, Judge Garrett, Judge McConicle, and Judge Jones Coleman. So on this ballot, you got a lot going on. So you got to vote for the governor's race and all the Democrat versus Republicans. And there's also like Green Party. David Bullock is running for Senate in one of the races for Green Party. So you have a lot of choices. I'm urging people to vote Democrat one at a time, and then go to the nonpartisan ballot and do your research ahead of time. Come in with your slates. There's different slates to go around: Black slate, Fannie Lou Hamer slate. We have the Michigan Democratic Future slate. There's some other slates out there. The East Side slate with Lamar Lemons. But just because somebody's on a slate doesn't mean they're the one to go
That's
for.
right.
So you just got to weigh that information. Some of these things are politically rigged, or it is what it is. Maybe you like the person that rigged it, or you trust. The UAW has a slate, which I give a lot of credence to. But maybe they didn't have information in the interview. So you just got to weigh all this information and try to make the most informed decision. But I really believe in this time voting Democrats one by one is I think a good way. We need some change in Michigan, and to really be more aggressive addressing the issues of water, clean water, mass incarceration, poverty, and trying to get more money from the neighborhood and not just little cul-de-sacs in the city that seem to get too much of our tax dollars.
But you know what, Isaac? A lot of people have told me that they haven't received, how we used to get a lot of information in the mail or handbills or something on, they put on the porch. We haven't received a lot of that.
Yeah, yes, but right now, all we can do is the best we can. We mailed this out to 21,000 absentees. Now, there's going to be hundreds of, you got it in the mail?
No, I live in Warren, but I wouldn't get that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm absentee now.
So we got to go back to the old school too. Before there was the internet, we have this television show here on Comcast 20. We have the Anton Bell conglomerate media power. We're doing the grassroots things right now.
Absolutely.
We got to keep it simple right now. Vote one Democrat at a time. Vote one Democrat at a time. But then when you get into these nonpartisan stuff, you do have to, take the time to write out and talk to your networks.
Absolutely.
So we got to work the phones again. My mom used to say back in the day when a politician got online, the Jeffrey Projects would be on the phone with Herman Gardner. Herman Gardner would be on the phone with the Brewsters, and within 5 minutes, Mayor Young was getting phone calls from 150 seniors. And so we got to, whatever information we get, people are getting on this. Let's write these notes down. Megan and Samuel. We got to remember Megan and Samuel for Supreme Court. If we want to change the Michigan Supreme Court from just being a Snyder and Engler depository of people from that camp, we got to remember Samuel and Megan for Supreme Court. I'm going to remember Green, Suzette, and John for Third Circuit. So you write these notes. And everybody also, some people trust their pastor. Some people trust Auntie Laura. Some people know Ebony is plugged in with, Miss Ebony is on the Warrendale Neighborhood Association. I'm kicking it with Renee Powers from the Moving Forward show. Always moving forward with Renee's show. And so, we gotta activate, and we can't complain about what they not doing. It's what we can do.
That's right.
So, this show is going to air on November 4th. On November 4th, we're having this big celebration at the Diamond Shaft with Fast Freddy. And at that event, we're doing a Get Out the Vote effort over at the Diamond Shaft on Myers, Fast Freddy's 72nd birthday. So we got to go take it to our hustle lessons. We got to go to the bars. We got to go to after church. We got to go to the lunchroom. We got to go where people are. And I'm not afraid to go to a bar. First of all, a bar in Detroit to me is nothing like but a bar and grill. We can go to Red Lobster that has a bar in Taylor,
That's right.
but we can't go to Maps Lounge, which has the best chicken Alfredo around off of DeQuinder and 7 Mile with Lord Al. Or you can get the best soul food in Detroit with Mr. Clark at Club Celebrity on Plymouth.
Talk
But
to us.
because it's in Detroit, it's hood, or it's
Yes.
or it's something, or the media will say you at a strip club. No, when you're at the Penthouse on Livernois, that's not a strip club. That's a bar that has this wonderful jazz event on Sundays. So don't you, it's not the Penthouse on 8 Mile. It was the Penthouse like George Jefferson riding up to the Penthouse. And so, but anyway, I'm excited about supporting Detroit businesses. And we need a change. I love when Dan Gilbert spends his money and gives people jobs. But I do not like it when we give him $700 million in
Isaac,
tax dollars.
if I could just say this, Isaac, because we are running out of time, but Isaac has so much information to give us. Tell you what, can we squeeze something in here and kind of like...
My number is 777-9311. That was Morris Day. I'm just playing.
Oh, okay.
My number is 313-739-5093, 739-5093. My website is robinsonformichigan.com, and you can reach out to me. I'm also an attorney. My law email is irobinsonlaw@gmail.com. Don't call Sam. You can call Sam, that's my man, but you call Isaac every now and then.
Okay, well, we're going to call Isaac. But tell you what, since we're about out of time, I want to thank both you, Ebony,
Yes.
and Isaac.
And those
my
braids nice and those
friend
curls,
on the
these
end,
beautiful,
Lenore.
beautiful ladies up here.
Okay, and remember, as I always say, God loves you, and so do we. I hope you enjoy Always Moving Forward with Renee.
Moving